$188.73.
It was paid in July of 2024.
Right, then you have the installation, which was a separate,
Yes.
And what was the install at?
$1,915.36.
Yes.
I mean, like, when was it actually installed?
I believe it was on March 10th.
It was installed, and at the last council meeting, we discussed it, but we did not have
Did not.
the
It wasn't
amount.
completed yet.
Right, we didn't have the invoice yet, so.
No, it's the blower, that big blower that sits on the outside. Yes. Did you tell me something about a lift station that was down?
Yes,
That I don't see it on, is it on here? I might have seen it.
well, probably not, cause this is for your February.
Oh, okay.
So typically it would come on your March, but I can go ahead and tell you about it.
Yes, please.
Okay, so on the 13th, Thursday the 13th, at approximately 8 o'clock in the morning, and you'll hear it again, because at the council meeting, I'll have pictures and stuff for you.
Right.
The Angry Lift Station, overflowed, which was reported to TCEQ. They went out and they treated it. The altercation was due to a pump that had burned up, and that pump was removed. And then, of course, we had to keep, removing the sludge as it built up, to keep it from overflowing again. And then, I believe it was that same night, Tricia, is that correct? At about 9 p.m., the second pump went out.
Yes. Then you had a safety inspection.
Same lift station?
Same lift station. It was due to feminine products and handy wipes, was caught up in it and burned up both pumps, which,
And that's a very important point we want everybody to get in their heads. That's what's burning these pumps up. It's costing every one of us money every time you flush those wipes and feminine products.
Yeah, the
So
flushable
we really,
wipes.
really need to get that out to our neighbors.
They're not flushable.
yeah.
Just don't flush those.
If you read it on the package, it says not flushable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says over here, flushable, but then on the package in little letters, it says not flushable.
And
it's
hopefully
definitely
by the
burns
next
the
council
pumps
meeting,
up.
when you get your report, cause they're always 1 month behind,
Right,
we'll have the actual cost of those. I know sometimes they try to rebuild the pump if it's able to be rebuilt, if the brushes aren't burnt up or something.
mm-hmm,
But you're looking anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 a pop
per pump.
per pump. And, every bit of that goes towards the city's cost of operations. So what that means, like right now, they're in the midst of doing a rate analysis. Of course, that rate analysis is for 2024, but things like this that are happening into the 2025 are gonna affect that rate analysis. It directly attacks, your bill, what you pay, what your customers, what your citizens pay for a sewer bill. It is directly related to the cost of operations. So it's imperative that the public,
And this is not just a hot cold problem. This is, I've talked to other operators out of like other cities around and other cities like Dallas and Rockwall. And it happens every day that people think they can flush those and it burns up the grinder pipe.
I talked to a guy that does that stuff at the hospital. He said that he said, good luck getting it out to get the public to stop doing it, cause they can't even get the nurses at the hospital to stop doing it. And of course, they're in there taking those, lines apart and everything. And I'll say it again, it costs the citizens of Hawk Cove money. Everybody that's on that system, every time that happens, it goes towards the cost of operations, which is included in every single rate analysis, and it's going to cause the bill to go up.
We really, really, really need to work on that.
I had a question on the blower. Was that for a new one or was that rebuilt?
That was a new one. Previously, there's 3 blowers that are supposed to be operational. Some years back, the system was broken into. We don't know why they stole the blower, but they stole it, leaving us 2 to run on. The 2 had gone out. That's why that number that I just gave you is really, really important. That's how much it costs to buy a new blower and to install it. And the city of Hawk Cove needs 2 more to be in compliance with TCEQ.
Did we get any kind kind of warranty with that?
That'd be a question I'd have to ask, I don't know the
think
answer.
there's warranties with those because of the nature of the beast.
Well,
Yeah.
part of it,
But
but
that
if
is,
it's a manufacturer malfunction,
Right.
that is your cost, and the mayor had asked about it earlier, and we had discussed it previously, that's why I wanted her to announce the numbers to y'all. Write them down, because you're fixing to have a duplicate, not once, but twice.
so we have 2 or 3.
You're supposed to have a total of 3,
We have one.
and
So
we have,
we may
we
see it,
currently have
we're gonna
one
see it
up.
2 more times.
Right, to equal 3, because
What
TCEQ
was that,
wants 3.
19,000 what?
Picture looks like there was a spot for 4. I don't know if there was ever one there.
And they may have put another spot in case our,
Yeah.
permit became a larger volume. At some time in the future, if we're able to use the other tanks, because the package plant was
Yeah.
oversized, overbuilt. So, I think that
Right.
if there is another spot, that's why they haven't been honest about doing another one, cause we're not
Right.
using that tank, so.
21,000.
Do we have any other questions on that? Any questions?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you, Mel.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item B, USDA update. We had USDA meeting on March the 4th. Communities Unlimited had requested additional information from the city, and the city has been working on that. Chad from Communities Unlimited informed us that their offices and several others were gonna be closing. At that time, they thought they were gonna be closing at the end of March. And, then at the meeting today, we found out he had another month, so I guess to stay until April. But even when it closes, they are continuing to work at home. It's not that they're closing down, they're just gonna be working from home instead of from a building on that. All the information was requested to be sent. Clyde spoke of special circumstances on the original note that was allowing for the reauthorization of the loan. That we did not get into deep discussion about, but we did discuss that if and when we do, something for y'all to think about, did we want to have monthly payments? Or if we wanted quarterly payments, or if we wanted it twice a year like it is now? If we reauthorize, would we want those payments to run out?
Remember, you have your 1 monthly payment,
Mhm.
and then you have twice a year
Right.
on top.
He had mentioned that. Y'all should all be thinking about that, because we all have our different opinions on how that would work. And we will have a workshop coming up soon, soon as Chad gets the, rate study.
Yeah, the only
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
I had on that, Mayor, is for the council to think about that. I think you'll recall that we discussed it today. You're paying $1,800 a month, isn't that right? $1,800 a month, and then we were paying $24,000 once in August, once in February. If they change it, I can't remember the name of the board that they said would be responsible to make that determination. Don't know that that's gonna be us as the city.
Right.
But I don't think it's a great idea to start the city out on a monthly payment because of how the income comes in on your ad valorem tax to your interest and sinking fund. Because it's not a number that you can count on monthly. You know, the first few months of the year, people are paying their taxes. And then after that, it can just kind of trickle in. And what I'm afraid of is if they go that route, it may be setting the city up for inadvertently defaulting. Because the money
This
hasn't
is
generated.
something I want council to think about, and we will have it at the workshop, and we'll discuss that in more detail and full detail about
Right.
what we think.
And we'll
would be
find out
better.
more information
And
as we
get more
go.
information for you,
Yes, ma'am.
cause there's gonna be a lot of information coming on this workshop.
Yes.
And the purpose was also the sewer customer.
Pardon me?
The sewer customer money is also to be considered.
Right, yeah, the payments,
So it's just not-
yes. But we all have our opinions on that, and we'll all state them at the workshop and discuss it and see what we think, we all think.
Yeah, according to the loan.
Yes, yes ma'am. And then on today, Communities Unlimited was telling us that they got to stay another month, and, Chad had asked for information through email and text. And did we get that information finished, or is that something that you're still working on?
No, that's something we're still
You're
working
still
on.
working on that information, but I don't know what it is, but it sounded like he was still working on the rate study without
Right.
that. He
What it
already
was, is
started.
it was the financial stuff, he's wanting the, reports that come from the red line system, which is the billing system.
Mhm.
So, the financial teams had to work diligently to try to figure out how to get that red line system to produce the particular types of reports. That's been the holdup.
Okay, and, the USDA did state, Ms. Clyde stated that they did receive the $1,800 payment, which is an interest payment on the 15th, so that's been paid as well.
Excuse me.
We asked about getting the paperwork showing what the city had paid entirely from word go to now. And where would we ask for this information, and that was supposed to be sent over so that information could be done and gotten before we have this workshop, so we know exactly what we paid, what it went on, and where it went from the word go.
Right, as much as they can
Since the
find
loan
on their
started.
antiquated system.
Yes, as much as they can find for us, we are supposed to be getting that for that workshop. Let's see. Is that all I have? Do you have anything else, Ms. Rhonda?
I think we covered pretty much, this meeting didn't have an awful lot.
No.
Almost
It was short.
reiterating what we had said before from the last meeting.
Yes, I can't wait for the workshop. That's what I'm just really dying for y'all to get y'all's hands into it and get your questions ready for it. Oh, we also discussed, oh, never mind, that was after the USDA meeting. It was after. We'll skip that. Okay, do we have any questions? There's no action. No questions? Okay, moving on to, oh, is you raising your hand? Yes,
So you had a meeting today then?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I thought you said the report, but you had one today also.
Yes, I said today also.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you missed that.
Sorry, I just heard the report.
Okay.
Okay, and that was projected as far as, what's the time frame on getting the payment history back?
We don't have that yet, but before the workshop, and the workshop is supposed to be in just a few weeks.
Probably first week of April or something, right?
Yeah.
Probably more towards the end of April.
Well, because he's having to move around and do classes and stuff, it's slowing our rate study down, so, because he has classes, Chad has classes he's having to do too as well. So he's trying to get it done as fast as he can, but,
Right, and let me make it clear, Mayor, that the information that he originally asked for, to be put together for the rate analysis had already been given to him. What he's asked for now was additional things that were not in the original list, which is the reason for the delay, so it didn't,
additional information.
right, that wasn't in the list, so we didn't know he wanted it. I'm not sure he knew until he got in there and started looking and decided
What are they asking?
he needed some more information, so.
Do you know what they're asking for? Mayor?
No, it's, financials, what she's saying, while ago about the red line system from the,
Some billing,
billing.
the financials?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted numbers off the red line system.
I know that.
Okay.
Part of the reason is the
Actual billing.
The customer's number had fluctuated. Remember, this is being done for 2024. So the customer number had fluctuated throughout the course of 24, so your numbers aren't going to stay the same, because that's gonna be changing as we roll along and get more customers, and I believe we're up to, 225? Is that correct?
Approximately
205.
205, I'm sorry, 205.
205.
Fixing to say.
Oh, okay, that's.
But some of those houses aren't even built or lived in, so actual, it's probably 200 that are.
Okay.
But
Okay.
they're-
But that's
they're
what
on
changes in the
list.
system, like if they pay
Right.
for, to add on to it or something like that, they're listed there, but they're not actually getting billed yet. That's why the number fluctuates and it's hard to come up with an exact number. And it may be a different number in 3 days, so,
Correct. Okay.
but
any
not
other
by a
questions?
large margin, of course.
No. Let's go on to item C, receive the fire report. There is no action on this as well. And just so y'all know, this is public information, anybody can get a copy of this. Just- This just tells us whenever EMS or any of the emergency fire department was out.
Then it would be in the city of Hot Cove and in our extraterritorial jurisdiction.
Right. Okay,
Yeah, that's if you're wondering why sometimes you might see a street on there that's not in the city limits, that's why.
well, it's nice that it's actually color coded,
Yeah.
so all the
So the
green
most
ones are
recent-
inside.
I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So the most recent fire that we had that resulted in those deaths? Was that, on here?
That likely will be on your next.
1349 North Shore, is that right?
49.
1349? I was saying 'cause it was on this paper, so. It was a medical call, not a.
217. I don't remember exactly what date that was.
Mhm.
Sad.
It's on the fire.
Yes.
That was
March
on
5th.
So I'm almost betting that's what it was. That was at 11:24 p.m.
Well, yeah, accident resulted in.
Yeah, I know, we did.
I just, well, no, I'm just saying it's a medical, so I get that, I just didn't know if it was.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, these run behind, if you'll notice the date.
Yeah, well, she was trying to point it out to me.
This is February, wow,
Yeah, this is
this is
February.
February, it won't be until March.
So it's at this address, you think?
No,
This
that
North Shore?
would happen in March, this is February.
No, I hear you, but I'm saying you feel like it's at this address, this North Shore address that happened or no?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Cause that happened in March,
I gotcha.
we haven't, this is February.
No, I
This is
gotcha,
March.
I was just going by the that. Okay.
We'll see it on the next one's one.
Cool. Okay.
We have no executive session for item 7.
We started talking about it.
Okay.
No consideration of
That's not the
executive
one.
session.
Okay, I didn't know, okay. Sorry, she corrected.
Do we have any announcements? No announcements? Okay.
I'm giving you this
A motion
information.
to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
What?
Have a motion to
Just tell
adjourn,
me-
can I get a second?
You talking about the total
Okay.
count, 205,
I
I think.
have a second.
If
All those in
four
favor of
more,
adjourning?
We'll have
Aye.
209.
Put it on the next one.
All those opposed? This regular session, Hot Cove City Hall, March 18, is now closed at 6:52 p.m. And we thank you all.
Thanks for showing up.
You're gonna write this. You're gonna write that information